I'm afraid to watch right now. Watching people stretch on the internet hurts my soul.
Why?
Oh, it's emotionally painful. It takes me back to my childhood of like sitting in splits with things on my legs, being pushed down and wanting to cry, and the most pain I've ever been in is when I was in a split. Now I think of all the injuries that people are giving themselves by doing some of these extreme stretch things.
Today you're going to see how I got my splits from this to this in just 1 month of stretching.
Okay. His face looks painful.
I've never really been that flexible, but I've always wanted the ability to just drop into a split out of nowhere.
Why?
Like this. Bang!
Oh.
Stuck inside. You gotta warm up. For me, I just chose front to back and side to side leg swings.
Okay.
After that, I stood for 2 minutes in the horse stance, stretched both my hamstrings for 2 minutes each, and lastly, I spent 2 minutes on each of my hip flexors.
I have better stretches than this. I'm afraid for all of his static stretching, the stretching that you just hold in one position. But I'm not sure what he does in life. So if he's not a dancer or a mover, then he might be okay just sitting in those splits. But if you're a dancer, you're like stretching out everything all the time. And then you're asked to move and be dynamic and jump around, and you're like a loose rubber band. So I don't know what he does, so.
Not like literally jump though. I didn't want to tear something right from the start.
Yes. That's what I imagine, 100%.
The first couple days were honestly kind of rough. I wasn't really getting down very far, and my legs were hella sore after stretching every day. So I used my big brain and figured out that my legs were going through something called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness.
This is real.
Honestly, I probably should have expected something like this to happen, given that I hadn't worked out for a year prior.
But I'm wondering if this is all he's doing. But what exercises is he doing? Because I do not recommend that someone just sit in their splits like this. I thought when I was younger, teachers told me that when I was stretching, I was tearing my muscles and then they were healing longer. So that's not true. It's not true. And in fact, stretching has very little to do with the changing of your muscle. It has more to do with your nervous system. Why are we sitting in a split when your nervous system is telling you, stop, 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 stop? You're just fighting your body.
If you're just starting out your split, I would definitely recommend using something to support yourself down in the split position.
I like that.
For me, around day 8, I finally started to see some real progress. Damn, boy! It was still really uncomfortable, but I was just happy to see some actual results. For the next couple days, I just kept up with my stretching, but eventually I hit a plateau where my hips started to hurt and my legs wouldn't go down any deeper.
That happens for people when they aren't doing active ranges of motion. Your body says, stop, you're hurting me. And it's not gonna let you go any farther. So the faces he's making it just makes me cringe because your body's telling you something. Flexibility doesn't have to beat as hard.
This is what your pelvis looks like. During a middle split, you're eventually gonna reach a point where your femur and your pelvic bones start rubbing up against each other.
This is true.
And that is no good. Before your hips start tightening, you should push your butt back and drop your hips down and forward. This is going to cause your pelvic bone to rotate forward and give you enough room to keep stretching further.
I just want to say, if you're going to do that, if you see how his back is arched, don't let your back arch that much. But yes, you can tip your hips back. I can't not correct it. He's doing good.
After some more big brain research, I found out that I had
like
to apply something called
I don't like that.
proprioceptive neuromuscular. So basically, up until this point, I've just been stretching as far as my legs could go. But after learning about PNF, I started to flex my legs at the bottom of my split, and I imagined pushing my legs through the floor.
Yes.
So
and this is where he's going to see a change.
Split. And now it was only a matter of time. And as the days went by, my split was getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then on day 29, this happened.
So I stopped at a great place. I'm really happy for him, and I have to give him kudos for his commitment. But one thing I don't like about 30-day stretch challenges is you give yourself such a time limit and say, if I don't reach it by this day, then I'm bad, I'm not flexible, none of my work counts. Life doesn't happen in 30 days. Your dancing doesn't stop and get better in 30 days. So don't look at your flexibility that way, because I bet he pushed himself so hard on day 29 to get to this point because he knew it was a 30-day challenge. So 30 days, 45 days, whatever.
I actually got my license.
Oh no.
First things first. I did it! Let's go! Just because someone can get their splits in a week or a month doesn't mean that you should have to be able to as well. Everybody's bodies are different and you're just going to have to work at your own pace. Not push yourself too hard. There's a difference.
Okay, I like this guy more. Okay, I like him. I like him.
Throughout the video, you may have noticed that I've been saying 30 days of stretching instead of just 30 days. And that is because this challenge actually took longer than 30 days, but I have a good reason for that. So every couple days, I gave myself a rest day to let my muscles heal and relax.
Rest days. Oh, we've come full circle. I like this guy. 40 days.
I am going to keep up with my stretching, and hopefully one day I'll be able to just drop my ass to the ground, no warm-ups needed.
Please don't do that. Don't do that at all. I give him kudos because he actually touched on things that I was thinking, that we can't do these things in 30 days, or giving yourself a time limit is not healthy. It's not going to help you get to your goal faster. I love that he talked about form, and I love that he did his research, because so many people come to me and have seen one person on YouTube do some type of stretching, and then that's what they do, and it's most of the time not the best. Maybe there's no evidence behind it about the stretching, and he actually halfway through realized he was probably hitting a plateau. And he did some research and he started acting in a little bit more of an active stretching component. So I liked that. I'm gonna give him some stars.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many stars out of 5?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna give him like a 3.5 star. Like, good effort, you're above the mark. This was much better than I expected. But I always wonder, because I get so many people who come and ask, I want my split. And I say, well, why do you want your split? If you wanna be able to do a better soda shot or a développé, or you have a goal with a certain piece of choreography, that's a bigger goal. But just being able to do a split, it's not my jam. That's what I always imagine, is someone just wants to be able to prove that they're flexible in a 30-day challenge, not what does it help you with your life. So those are my thoughts, but he did a good job.